welcome to the next
We'll have a blooper reel, don't worry.
You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily.
Hi, welcome to the next podcast on University of Bolton Social Work Centre. My name's Hamzah, I'm a student on placement, and we've got here joined with us today Martin and Andrew. Martin, the founder of the charity Bolton Nice, and Andrew is one of the volunteers who's been with Martin for many years. Today the main objective of the podcast is to just raise the awareness of what it is that these guys actually do in the community and just how vital they are in the community. And you know, they're more than a food bank. They provide so much more just than food to the needy. So that's what we're here to do, just raise awareness of what they do and how the wider community can help out as well. So Martin, just to start off with, can you just tell us a little bit about the food bank, please?
Well, the food bank, the charity, we've been doing it for about 15 years. Originally started off when we're talking about poverty and unemployed and the situation. And 15 years ago we thought things were going bad. But unfortunately, as time has progressed, it's gone worse and worse, and the situation is actually, people are more desperate. The amount of people actually coming to us who want to take their own lives is actually, it's like a daily occurrence for people actually saying they've just had enough. And the utility bills and the fact that, it's the whole package, the whole thing's getting people down. And we're here to just give people a handout, really. When they say a handout, we don't really give handouts, we give a hand up to people who've fallen in hard times. It's a struggle, and it's a struggle because we don't get any funding from anybody. Really a struggle, but it's a struggle for the volunteers as well. The volunteers actually, they're giving a part of their life every day. So the volunteers who come here, they might come for 2 hours, 4 hours, they might be here all week, but they're giving a part of their lives to help other people.
It is one of the main reasons why I volunteer, is because I got to know Martin quite a long time ago, and I have been helped a lot by Bolton Nice when it first started. I've fallen on hard times, and I got so depressed recently. If I hadn't bumped into Martin again, I don't think I'd have been here today. It really is an absolute nightmare what I went through. I also do volunteering at our local radio, which I've also helped with Bolton Nice as well. But the help I'm getting at the moment has just been absolutely awesome. It's unreal what kind of opportunities you do get with Bolton Nice, because they don't just do food, hand up, anything else. They help with furniture, they help you with debt advice, housing advice, all kinds of things. They even do community groups, so there's lots and lots of things you can do when you become a volunteer with them as well.
So just to follow up on that, Andrew, before you became a volunteer, did you access the food bank or the service, the charity Bolton Nice?
I did actually, when we first started, when we had the very first place, which was at the Victory Reform up on Charlie Wood Road. Yeah, it was the very first place you had, actually, for the charity.
Yeah.
When it very first started. And I remember then I started helping out, and then it was, right at the beginning, there was Martin, Alex, and myself, right at the beginning. And then he started getting more and more volunteers. So I have been a volunteer ever since Martin started, roughly. Well, just before Martin started, I offered him my services. Because we used to go out, you even helped him collect cans to raise funds, didn't we?
Yeah, aluminium cans, that was the original idea. The idea was we were going to raise cans and put the money into extra services. But unfortunately, the cans, there weren't enough cans. We needed more money than cans would provide. And to be honest, we've been quite lucky because over the years, a wide variety of different people, it's like, they say God will provide to me, and I keep saying, well, I wish God had hurry up. But the fact is, people have always jumped in. Different people from different areas have jumped in and actually helped with small amounts of funding, and that's the thing that's kept us going. Jumble sales, people raising, doing little car boot sales and various things. That's what really has kept us going over the years. and the goodwill of the Bolton community, and like I said, very importantly, the goodwill of the volunteers that come here, because they give more than time, they give themselves. And all our volunteers, actually, most of them have actually been at the bottom of the pile, and they realise that people come to the door need help. They're not coming. All of the charities, I say, people come from posh areas and stuff, and they think they're doing a little bit of good. But when you've actually been at the bottom of the pile and you've struggled yourself, you realise more that you give your heart and soul, really, and that's what the volunteers do. And I appreciate every one of them.
So you know how we have the social work students and placement coming in Wednesday every week, and then I've noticed, I'm starting to see a few of the college students as well. Are you working with any other services currently at the moment?
Oh, we work with a wide variety of different services. We've been lucky because, like I say, when the college and university send people to us, the welfare rights bit is handy, because we used to have a centre where we did all our own welfare rights, but unfortunately the pandemic hit and we had to leave that centre, and we've not managed to reset up. So I would say we're hopping from stone to stone across the river, because when you're giving things away for free, you don't make money. And if you don't make money, you don't really have a great deal of to put into premises and stuff. So we've been actually, people have been lending us premises and other stuff. The ideal situation for us was to actually find something semi-permanent or permanent place where we can actually re-establish all the services again. But the welfare rights bit is vital to a lot of people, and I wish more people actually access it. Obviously getting the word out there can be a bit difficult, and sometimes people say they come and because of lifestyle they don't end up coming. But we also deal a great deal with probation. So we've done a lot of community service, people on community service orders. I've done thousands of hours. I think Norman and some of the other volunteers have actually supervised people on community orders. So the idea is not just to give food out and other stuff, but you're helping someone get through that probation order. And sometimes it's difficult because of lifestyles and different things, don't always get there. But the extra help and support we give, just to get them through that order, and then they can hopefully change their lives. But we also deal with a wide variety of housing associations and other organisations, other professional bodies, NHS.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I've definitely observed that as well in the last few weeks. This is so vital in the community. You guys do so much more than just giving out food. It's like what you said before. You're not giving a handout, rather you're giving like a hand up. So you're trying to help people break through poverty here, and not by just giving them food for a few days to survive on, and then they are depending on the food bank again in a few days. So is that what you do here? You're sort of building their social networking. So this is where our service comes in as well. So if the people that are accessing food bank, if they need help around housing or benefits or employability, budgeting, etc., then we try and help with that as well. Or if not, we try and signpost it onto another service that can help with that. And then again, so I've noticed in the last few weeks where people come in and they're not even here for food. Some of them, it's cold outside and they just want to come in for a bit of a warm place, have a brew, socialise with people for a bit, and then they're on their way again. And the location as well, what do you think about the location? Is in the marketplace right now?
This is brilliant. Actually, we did an appeal on Granada Reports, and we immediately got offered a church in Manchester, central Manchester, where they were going to pay all the bills, and everything was, it's exactly what we've been praying for. We're going to pay for the bills. They would actually look at, all we have to do is provide a service. But we couldn't pick everything up and move to central Manchester. So then we got offered this building here, which is in the marketplace. It's an old cafe, which suits us because of the food, because of the outlet. It's an ideal thing, but back in my mind and the back of the volunteers' mind, they know it's only temporary, because as soon as someone comes along and says we're willing to pay for that, this will be gone. And from my point of view is we've kept the charity going so long, it's just that next stepping stone to try. We're still looking for somewhere else already, because once you're moving somewhere, we're immediately looking to get somewhere else until we find somewhere permanent or semi-permanent. somebody said 4 years, 5 years, we could build it up again. We've done it several times. I think we've done it about 7 times already. We've done about 7 moves. But at the end of the day, the biggest struggle is finding accommodation and getting the right facilities so we can provide the service we want to provide.
Yeah, the next question I'd like to ask both of you guys is, so you're helping out the people in community voluntarily, and then there isn't much backing financially as well. So what's the motivation behind, you helping people in the community? All of a sudden you're told to pack up and move on to the next area. So what's the motivation every single time? Start up again, build up again, and
it's dead easy. So some of our volunteers say they're looking for a smile.
Right.
That smile on people's faces. Jimmy and Norman will tell you they come in for a food bank and the face can be down here, and people are nervous about getting the help, and then when they're going out with food and a smile on their face, that's the motivation, because we don't get money. Nobody in the charity's ever got paid, and that's the whole point. It's that motivation to just give people a smile, and we're trying to make people survive in some cases one more day. Tomorrow one more day, because you can't give much more. If a little bit of help from the local authority or anybody would be gratefully appreciated. But at the end of the day, we're a set of volunteers, all unpaid, all just trying to help people survive. And the motivation for getting out of bed, because a lot of us are pensioners, to get out of bed and actually do things, that's the motivation. The motivation is to actually, at the end, you sleep better knowing you've helped somebody in that day. You might have upset somebody, or somebody might have upset you, but at the end of the day, it's when you know that you've done more good than bad.
Yeah, one of the things as well is we're one of the main things what we're trying to do is you're feeding the needy, not the greedy. Yeah, it's one of the main things. But when you do see them coming in here, and you do see the faces, and the faces are almost on the floor, and then when they've got the food and they walk out, there is a bit of a smile on the faces. So when you see that smile on people's faces, knowing that you've helped somebody, it's even better. And there's one thing is like as well with the soup kitchen, because we do soup kitchen here as well twice a week, which is on a Thursday nights and Saturdays. When you see them coming in, and then when they've had something to eat, they're very thankful. But you do get some that are greedy and they want more. You know what I mean? But the thing is, having this space and just keep helping people, that's all it's there for. That's all we want to do, is help people.
But the idea, depending on when we're here, the idea is actually to develop the soup kitchen and that a bit more. So the actually cafe bit behind me back here is where people can come in and get soup, get a roll, even if it's just that. When we're at community centre in the past, we've done 4 meals and we could have 50 people sat down for a meal. Which it doesn't sound a lot, but it is a lot when you think about an area and people coming, people going. So at the end of the day, people drifting in, people drifting out. So you're feeding more than 50, and it's that extra bit. It's a bit of warmth in the stomach. If somebody's on got life issues and is on some substance and different things, at least you're putting something in the stomach. They're getting fed, and you could, over a period of time, you can see an improvement. You can see an improvement in actually, the individual. We were just commenting yesterday that an individual who's 3 years ago, well off the scale, shall I say. Well, you think yourself, well gone, and now, looking more clean cut, actually can have a sit down, have a conversation, and a lot more relaxed. But it takes time, and at the end of the day, I'm in my 70s, Norman, Jimmy, and young Eddie's nearly 90, and end of the day, we haven't got time. We haven't got that much time to but we'd like to go out knowing that the charity's continuing, and at least it's got a future, and hopefully a future in the premises, because a lot of young people who's worked for the charity now and helps out, at least they got something to give and want to continue giving.
It's really encouraging to hear. I like the line, help the needy, not the greedy.
Yeah, the other thing is like Martin was saying then about this particular person, yeah, we have talked about him for the last 2 days, haven't we? And seeing the massive difference in him in over the 3 years Yeah, he's willing now to come out and he'll speak to you. Whereas before he wouldn't. He'd clam up, he wouldn't speak to anybody. And seeing him now compared to how he was 3 years ago, it's a massive, massive difference. He goes round now and he's talking to other people, you know, and he's saying, does this help for you, does that help for you? Yeah. So he's telling people now about different help that's out there. You know what I mean? Now, 3 years ago, if you'd have spoke to the guy, he'd have ran away from you, you know what I mean? He wouldn't have been speaking to you. He'd have just clammed up like that straight away.
But it's a lifeline. It's what we're doing is giving humanitarian aid. I know it sounds daft, but our lab used to say to us, well, we're giving humanitarian aid to other countries and other things, but humanitarian aid, obviously, is here and it's needed. And it's needed in Britain and it's needed in Bolton. And we know people who are sleeping in cemeteries and old factory units, and there's people actually, you know, kipping down, you know, on floors and hopping. There seems to be a lot. In my opinion, if you haven't got a house, you haven't got a property, you're homeless. You know, we hear a lot about other things. You know, people trying using other phrases, but the fact is, there's a lot of people struggling, and at the end of the day, always still do. We're not giving a hand up, we're giving a hand up, and that's all we can really offer. Sometimes it's limited. I work 365 days a year. Last time I had a day off for 2012, a full day, but people put a lot of time and effort in, and this charity wouldn't work. The money might be, the bit of money might be important, but the more important thing is what volunteers give, and their time is vital to me and it's vital to the charity.
Just going back a bit, can you tell me a bit about the soup kitchen? So which days does it happen and what time?
Well, it's generally speaking, it's 5 on a Thursday, 6 on a Saturday. But it's going to vary anyway, because we're going to tweak it now, we're going to change it. But it doesn't have to be that time, because if we can actually get some small amount of kits for this kitchen here, we're going to have it going virtually every day, particularly, you know, as things are cold. But to be able to come in and get a warm meal for free anyway is vital. At the moment there's a lot of funding for warm spaces and stuff, but it's only short-term temporary funding. We've not got any funding. Other people have got it, but all these other places are closed down as soon as their funding disappears. But we'll still be going and we'll still be offering at least sandwiches or something for individuals. Everybody comes and gets something. Some people want to come every day and get something, but some people must have a massive house or a warehouse, because they take that much stuff away. You know, think to yourself, well, they must be storing it up because they couldn't possibly eat something, or they get other people. My biggest worry is other people who need it aren't coming, or they're saying, well, give it to someone else deserves it more than I do. And in my opinion, if people are struggling, they deserve it now, and if we've got it, they're getting it. And you know, there's a stack of food behind me, but you can't just give it all out on one day, because you've got to actually make sure that as stock's coming in, that you're moving the stock around and you're giving people, you know, the breads, the vegetables, and particularly, you know, that kind of foods. You know, the daily, given my daily bread, they say, well, we can have 500 loaves of bread, you know, lined up, and you look at lads and think, well, we're not going to get rid of that, and then we do get rid of it. It's amazing.
I mean, I've seen that one where I think it was over 1,000 loaves of bread or something that was stacked up, maybe even 1,500 loaves of bread. Yeah, just all lined up, and it all went in a day.
In a day.
Yeah,
which was amazing.
It
amazed us all.
Yeah.
Just said, well, can I take one and freeze one? So I take 2 and freeze one. But we'd rather get fresh stuff out. To be honest, it's difficult getting food anyway for a lot of people, but we've been really lucky toward, because like organisations, sort of food mag like Tesco Horridge, you know, we've done over 1,000 pickups, and the amount of food and meals, you know, that equivalent of that is amazing anyway. You know, people donate stuff to us, odd stuff. You know, schools will ring us up and say we've got furniture. The furniture actually in this building now is here, that's around me, weren't here 2 days ago. You know, and actually one of the local housing associations said, you know, we're upgrading the furniture, you want it? So we immediately said yes. So everybody, you know, the vehicles teams got out, the volunteers actually got it in, and it looks quite nice. It's nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Green on the side, pink on the side.
Green on the side. See, that, as soon as I seen it, I said to myself, pink one side, green the other.
But it's not just that, it's also child friendly now as well, with all the rounded edges. Yeah. Whereas the others furniture what we've had has been sharp corners. So rounded edges as well, it's a lot child friendlier.
So we had a mixture of all whatever he gives us. But I mean, end of the day, we're all reliant on the goodwill of the people of Bolton, and to be honest, the people of Bolton have been fantastic because they do give, you know. And I find, which might sound terrible, I found that you know, the people at the bottom and the people with less tend to give more. The people who are well off and well heeled and sat watch, you know, it's warm, you know, a lot of them, it's not their concern. And to be honest, even we say when people come in, if you can donate £1, that would help. It helps with diesel, it helps get things in. Now some people can, some people can't. But I mean, we're not. It's not compulsory. But end of the day, every little helps. But you do get, you know, you get people wandering in with an odd envelope and they say, here, you know. Because I was saying, well, if people actually make a small donation, it helps pay for the, you know, the brews and other stuff, or it helps pay for the heating. And people, somebody might donate a £5, but that £5 for that person would be a lot to them, you know. It wouldn't be, you know, it would be a lot of their income and a lot of their, would want to make an effort. But like I said, it's a shame that people further up the ladder, or people who can make the decisions, would actually start thinking a bit more about the fact that they're warm, they're happy, they're okay. You know, and there's a lot of people who're struggling, there's a lot of people who actually sleeping rough around Bolton, and a lot more needs doing. And to be honest, I think a lot of more people in Bolton, a lot of people in power, and a lot of people actually, you know, making decisions could do a lot more.
It's true. I totally agree.
Yeah, this is one of our main focus and purpose with this podcast as well, try and raise the awareness. I find that sometimes, I agree with you that the needy people are often the more helpful ones compared to the ones that are more fortunate in life. And I think part of the reason is because they're not exposed to what's going on out there. So that's why. If you think if they go out more and they got to see, they were exposed in these type of environment a bit more, they'd be a bit more sympathetic towards the cause.
Possibly. It's difficult because, like I said, I'm a retired lecturer myself. You know, and actually, but you can be isolated sometimes on your income and everything else. We say to people about that, don't be nice to us and we'll be nice to you. But a lot of people have been nice, and they have helped us. And everything we've got, you know, from day one has been, somebody said here, you know, we've got a massive warehouse across town that we're in the process of closing down because we can't afford to run it. You know, all that stuff has just been donated by people. You know, I've got people who could sell stuff on, you know, and they don't want to say, we'll give it you. You know, you sell it or you give it away. And the first priority where we get anything is to actually rather keep it within the charity, donate to another charity, or pass on to some community group, and then down the line, obviously, give stuff away or whatever we're doing. It's difficult, but it's hard work, but it's worth it. You know, I feel when putting that coffee lid down on me, I'll be saying to me, let me feed one more person. But you'd be saying, other than that, you'd be saying, you know, here, this is it. You know, I've done my bit. You know, but more importantly, I persuaded a lot of volunteers over the years to come and work for us and come and do things and do it for free. And somebody said to me about modern slavery. They said, if you're volunteering, you're a slave, you know, because you're not getting paid. And, you know, you go like that, don't you? You just think that person doesn't understand at all.
They don't.
He doesn't understand it's the reward you get at the end of the day, because the reward is, it's not cash in hand, it's actually being able to shake someone's hand and help them up. So that's the reward. And that smile, as they say, is the smile at the end of the day is the reward.
Yeah, it makes our life meaningful as well, purposeful.
That's the one.
That's more.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight.